And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday. It's the 29th of January, 2021. It's the birthday of the man who said, "There comes a time in the affairs of man when he must take the bull by the tail and face the situation." W.C. Fields, William Dukenfield, born Darby, Pennsylvania, 1880. Ran away from home as a child. He was a fabulously skilled juggler. He juggled in the carnival, then added a comedic routine to it, and went on to act in films, including films that he wrote: The Bank Dick, Never Give a Sucker an Even Break, You Can't Cheat an Honest Man. His career went downhill. At the end, he was alcoholic, died Christmas Day, 1946. It's the birthday of the man considered the master of the modern short story, Anton Chekhov, born 1860 on this day in Taganrog, Russia. Anton Chekhov, whose family was poor, who had to support himself as a tutor and as a writer for newspapers, described his teenage years as a never-ending toothache, got into medical school, Moscow University, and paid his own way through school, writing funny stories for Russian newspapers and magazines. Chekhov said, "Medicine is my lawful wife, and literature is my mistress. When I get fed up with one, I spend the night with the other. Though it is irregular, it is less boring this way, and besides, neither of them loses anything through my infidelity." The same year he became a doctor, he started coughing up blood. He'd contracted tuberculosis, which eventually killed him when he was in his 40s. He preferred lovers and prostitutes to a committed, monogamous relationship. Chekhov said he was willing to marry if his wife would live in Moscow while he lived in the country and he could come and see her. He said, "Give me a wife who, like the moon, won't appear in my sky every day." There were a great number of doctors who also wrote fiction and poetry. Oliver Wendell Holmes and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who gave us Sherlock Holmes. Walker Percy was a medical doctor. Michael Crichton. Arturo Vivante wrote over 70 stories for the New Yorker magazine. He was a doctor, as was Robert Bridges, who also was Poet Laureate of England. Robin Cook, the author of mystery thrillers, and Dr. Abraham Verghese, who teaches medicine at Stanford and has a secret office on campus in which to write. And perhaps the most famous doctor in literature, William Carlos Williams of Rutherford, New Jersey. Here's a poem for today by Faith Shearin, Quarantine, 1918. There were towns that knew about the flu before it arrived. They had time to imagine the germs on a stranger's skirts, to see how death could be sealed in an envelope, how a fever could bloom in the evening and take a life overnight. A few villages deep in the mountains posted guards on their roads, and no one was allowed to come or go, not even a grandmother carrying a cake. No mail was accepted, and all the words and packages families sent to one another went unopened, unanswered. Trains were told not to stop, so they glowed for a moment before swaying towards some other place. The food at the corner store never came from out of town, and no one went to see a distant auntie or state fair. For a while, the outside world existed in imagination, in memory, in books or suitcases, deep in closets. There was nothing but the town itself, hiding from what was possible, and the children cutting dolls from paper, their scissors sharp. The poem Quarantine, 1918, by Faith Shearin, from Orpheus Turning, published by the Broadkill River Press. That's the Writer's Almanac for Friday, January the 29th. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.